fish.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently very effective if you like fish.
They're they're pretty good for some shit, depending on what kind of ones you cook and what effects they have. They have these ones that are called like ancient something. It's like they're very important to the story. You'd think they'd be useful in some way, but they absolutely aren't. They just recover health, and it's like okay, but they're really hard to get. It seems weird that they're so useless, unless it's something I don't know about, where you cook them a certain way or something. But as far as I can tell, they're just like it's like that flower silent princess, where it's just like okay, it's cool that it exists, but what does it do?
They, yeah. I mean, you make any game that complicated, you're going to run out of things to do. So,
Yeah, it's
the
true.
art team is churning out stuff at an incredible, ridiculous pace, and the design team is trying to keep up. We need effects for this, we need it for that, and at some point, the message is going back upstream. Stop creating art. We have no more. We have no more functionality. Cannot
Yeah, we're
squeeze it in.
tapped.
So there are things that just they exist.
Yeah, I think if
Maybe.
they have, I think no, I think it's a pattern. If they have, if it is a story reason for it, like just a given common item, it's likely that it won't do anything.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
except for like when you get gear from the Zoras for like swimming up waterfalls, that shit stays fresh forever. Because as soon as they give you that power, they're like, yeah, a lot of skylines have like water constantly pouring from them, and you just ride right up it. When I went to Hamilton, I spent a lot of time with my because it was with a friend whose wife is having a baby or whatever. So while they were doing upcoming baby shit, my man and I, uh, we went around Hyrule and found me some crazy weird items. Like there's a set that you can get that when you upgrade it twice, or when you get all three pieces, I think one or the other, it removes fall damage completely. Like you can't when you're wearing it, you can't take fall damage. So you leap off like the highest point and you're just like rocketing as fast as you can. And then you like aim towards a chasm hole and you're just like, and then you just hit the ground as hard as you can. You get up, you're like, nice. What's next?
Talking about Zelda, by the way, everybody. Hey, Press X
BT
podcast
dubs.
here.
BT dubs,
We're the podcast
Zelda,
people.
Zelda cast. At least for the first minute.
Press X to Zelda. Yeah, okay. Maybe we'll see if that takes off. Press X to Zelda.
Yeah.
Hi. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast. Rhett, welcome back to the podcast.
Oh, gracias, gracias.
You've been
It's,
all over the channel, all the
yeah.
time, everywhere. Just can't get away from it.
No.
And welcome back to the cast of the pod.
No, I appreciate that. Felt like I've been away for longer than I was, so
Ooh, that's deep, man.
good to be. Yeah, that's deep.
Away for longer than I was.
Oh yeah.
So what you missed last time, we talked about PlayStation. We talked about the PlayStation Showcase, went through everything. We kind of thought it was okay.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was decent. I'm not sure. I might have preferred the Xbox showcase. Just because there was like 3 or 4 things in a row where I was like, "Oh fuck yeah!" They showed off. I was like, "Oh, yeah." So there's a lot of that for me in the Xbox showcase. I don't know if there's quite as much of that in the PlayStation one.
Yeah, I landed on like a B for the PlayStation Showcase and probably like a B plus for Xbox.
Yeah,
They showed some
that's fair.
stuff, but I don't know. Some of it was really didn't land or
Oh yeah, they showed a lot of games. Some of them you're like, wow, cool, guys. Happy for you. Happy for you. You get to do that with yourselves and your careers and your lives. But
So I figured we'd go through some of that stuff, but also it's been a while since we talked about games.
yeah,
So
okay.
yeah, I don't know if anybody's played anything insane lately. We could talk about the Final Fantasy 16 demo.
Yeah, I think we're authorized for that.
Well, I didn't sign an NDA and I played it, so
Yeah, that's true. Uh, it's this is from the demo. It seems like this is going to be a Final Fantasy rather unlike any other in certain ways because like they've been slowly moving away from turn-based combat for a long time. They've been as soon as they figured out the active time battling system ATB. As soon as they started working on that, that was like them beginning to move away from traditional RPG mechanics. And with 15, I think they really put the pedal to the metal in that regard and started being like, well, no, we're going to start doing things crazy different. And this is going to be the first time. And then this 7 remake carries on that tradition somewhat. That it looks like 16 is like about as far as you can get from RPGs without just becoming the next Devil May Cry. Like if they did a Devil May Cry, that would be them going slightly further, but it wouldn't be a long walk from this game, is what I'm saying.
let me just unmute myself so I can talk.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from, but at the same time, I think it also feels quite like a Final Fantasy game.
Oh yes, absolutely, 1000%. It
And
feels like a Final Fantasy game.
and even in the combat, it feels like there's a lot of ways to approach things. You can get all up in there and get combo heavy, but you can also sit back and
Yeah, you can just spam that fireball move forever.
forever. Uh, but yeah, I was blown away by the demo. I think it seems like the writing is very strong. The voice acting is excellent.
Oh fuck yeah.
It looks
Voice acting
beautiful.
rips.
Great soundtrack. I especially appreciated in that early part where it was the Final Fantasy prologue tune in the background, and it was kind of the root of all the music that happened in that
Yeah.
opening
Yeah.
sequence. Man, really good, really really good. If the full game slaps this hard, I don't know what we're gonna do for Game of the Year, buds.
Yeah.
We might be in trouble.
For me, I don't know about I don't know about the general list. I don't know about the general list, but for me, just the demo is like, oh, this might be knocking Tears of the Kingdom off the top spot of my personal list.
Yeah,
Because um mechanically and whatnot and design wise, Tears of the Kingdom is very, very, very fucking strong. But I think in terms of story, that FF16 might just kick its ass up and down the field. Just give it a sound hiding. Um,
completely and utterly attached to the puppy within 3 seconds.
oh yeah, like one scene, one shot where it's just like, oh the dog, oh it's so little. Okay.
And it's like, Arf! Oh yeah, you're adorable. Love this game.
Yeah. Um, I appreciate the like playing this game made me think of the first Xenogears. And I say this because that was one of the first games in recent memory where they like did we're not just going to do English voice acting, we're going to do British voice acting. And to me it feels like we've come somehow a long way from that point to here. Like Xenoblade's English British voice acting I've always found kind of stilted, kind of like um the way it's written or the way it's delivered or something. But with this game, it's like, oh, this feels natural as shit, or at least as much as it can. Um, this rules.
Yeah, for better or worse, in the past Final Fantasy games with voice acting, they've leaned into kind of that. I guess you would call it traditional Japanese style voice acting. Of it's very anime in root. This feels a lot more Western or Westernized.
Oh, yes, Jesus.
With the very breathy ladies and the gruff males and you know what I'm talking about.
Oh man, yeah.
It also does
Okay,
not mess around with mature, or it's not shy about mature themes.
it's true.
It's like minutes into that demo, and you're like, wow, um, this business time.
Yeah, they really love their fuck words. They're like, oh man,
Yeah,
they got they got the hall pass for that. And they're like, well, we're gonna use this to its fullest extent.
you're saying we can't avoid that M for mature. Okay, well, here we go.
Yeah, yeah, they lean pretty hard. It's pretty great. Um,
Anyways, it's available on PS5 now. So if you
yeah.
got one of those, highly recommend. Even if you're not an RPG player, it's got RPG stuff. But
Oh, I've seen two different people online be like, "Am I really buying a PS5 just for Final Fantasy 16?" And they're like, "Yeah, I am. I am doing that."
it's no mistake that the first, or I guess the second PS5 with a game bundle is this.
Yeah.
It was God of War, now it's this. Because it's a system mover, no doubt.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's gonna be. Um,
Also, really
yeah.
like that when you pop into the menu, it shows the characters who are you're in your party as pixel sprites.
Yeah, that rules.
So good.
um, I yeah, lots of little details. I appreciate yeah, I really appreciate the how smooth the combat feels, just how like, ooh, yeah, let's get in, let's do it, let's make it happen. Apparently it's a real dream team. There's like people from like Platinum Games or something who are like worked on this game, and like the Final Fantasy 14 people are in this game, and there's like a really famous composer, and it's just like they got like a real Power Ranger style assemblage to make this fucking thing apparently.
And it's not letting down,
Mm.
letting anybody down as far as I can tell. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll be
Yeah.
counting the days, counting the 8 days until this thing actually comes out. Because
Yep.
I need it. Got to the end of the
I
demo and went, it's not enough.
want
That's not enough.
to get in there and get it done. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I I don't know about you guys. I put in a whole bunch of hours into Tears of the Kingdom for sure. I've got a bunch of that done, like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I've played some.
Yeah.
I've played none.
Okay. Yeah. You're not you're not at that place in your life, and that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to get there one day, but
Yeah.
I think Final Fantasy is going to come first.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure. I've played some of it. I think it is a much better game than Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
In a similar way as Breath of the Wild, though, I find myself having to convince myself to sit down and play it. Once I'm playing it, having a great time building stuff, running around, checking out the world. World's great. The storytelling, I think, is a lot better than Breath of the Wild. But once I step away from it, I have to convince myself to go back.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm
Interesting.
not sure why that is.
Um.
Because it's tremendously
Yeah.
well made.
Yeah. For me, I booked a day off specifically to play this when it launched. And like that first day, I definitely put in like a solid 8.5, 9 hours. Maybe more. Maybe more. And basically from that point forward until I had to do other games for this site or whatever, it was just like whenever I had free time, whenever I was like not doing anything else, I was like, well fuck, I'd be getting into more Tears of the Kingdom. Once I discovered that there was like a secret second map of equal size under the first very large map, and it was like the game on hard mode, I was like, oh, okay, all right, we're in this.
I think maybe what struck me the most, and probably because I started playing it not too long after having played Redfall, is, and the whole 30 frames per second nonsense was in my mind. Zelda feels awesome at 30 frames a second. It doesn't feel
Yeah.
sluggish, it doesn't feel laggy. It's very tight, very controlled, and it feels smooth. Whereas something that's not that well made and is technically 30 frames a second can feel very glitchy and jumpy if the frame time isn't equal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it plays very, very well.
Yeah, I'm impressed with how well the various physics interactions maintain the frame rate. Like, for me, I've heard complaints, but I never experienced them personally, where you would like take the ultra hand, for example, and just twirl something around in the air, change its direction a bunch of times. I think people are having trouble with that, but for me, it was just like, nope, okay, good, great, perfect, perfect. Yeah, no troubles whatsoever.
You've got a Switch OLED, yeah?
Yes, I don't think it's functionally much beefier than the OG, right?
Not technically, but I have heard that the original Switch, something in the memory system isn't as fast on the original one. So, especially in something that's pushing it like this, I feel like I saw that on Digital Foundry. But yeah, it's a little bit more performant on the OLED than it is on the original.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
I generally don't notice a difference because I have two models and I play games on both.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I have them both hooked up, and I've never noticed a really profound difference in performance from one to the. Well, I don't play always the exact same games. It's never been like, oh man, this is my worst Switch or whatever, because it's the older one. I don't know why.
This is the guest Switch.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not tuned for that, right? That's not something that you generally pick up on and notice. You're more interested in the art, more interested in the, mechanics and.
That's true. I I don't give a shit about frame rate unless it's like it dips really low below level that like impacts functionality. But like if it doesn't do that, then I'm like 30 or 60 doesn't make a fucking difference to me.
I will say that there are spots where the game looks hideous.
Oh sure. Oh
The
my
art
god.
is still
Yeah.
good, but man, there are some spots where you're like, "Woo, this is a 7-year-old handheld."
Yeah, when you're just wandering over like just a piece of like random terrain and they like paint some fucking snowy grass on it, you're like, okay, there's bits that stick up, like there's 3D bits among that, but a lot of it you can see is just like, wow, they just drew that onto the ground. Okay, dope.
Like Buckarooed it.
Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, once you know what to look for, you're just like, oh, woof. Okay, cool.
Rhett, what are you playing, man? I saw you picked up Ghostwire.
Ghostwire Tokyo. Yep. And Diablo 4.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
How's
talk
that?
about that.
Been doing that. It's great. It's great. I feel like it's the best parts of 2 and 3 that have come together to make, I mean, in my opinion, the best Diablo game. I know there's going to be people that will always,
Yeah.
get out the pitchforks if you don't say that Diablo 2 is the best one. But
Well, because they're such different games, it's hard to like really
so
draw a serious
different.
comparison
So
between them. But
And
better than 3.
better than 3 for sure, and I think it's better than 2 because there's just so many quality of life improvements that they've made. So many things to just streamline character building, and the story's told a lot better. The narrative is like, for the first time in a Diablo game, I'm actually paying attention to the story. I'm not just blasting through the dialogue. I'm like, yeah, it's actually really well told. You'll go to a spot and you'll interact with something, and like the camera will slowly zoom down on your character, and then a cutscene will start in a tradition, and it'll look like a traditional cutscene. It won't just be told overhead with dialogue. It's really well directed, and
Nice.
it's well acted. Obviously, Blizzard are known for their cutscenes, and each one of them is just dripping with style and substance. And
Hey,
it's cool.
how's the character creator? I hear it's semi robust.
Semi-robust. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I always talk about the WWE character creators.
Well, I mean
So,
that's such a fucking high bar, man. You're
it's
like,
a very high bar, but like with with Diablo 4, you'll pick like a base character, you know, and then you'll have a few different face options to choose from and a handful of hair options to choose from and beard options, but it's not like there's no scaling, there's no part scaling whatsoever. So if you were
Okay.
hoping to make, you know, Vin Diesel or The Rock or
oh,
Joe Biden, you know, you're not going to be doing any of that. So in that sense, it's a little weak, but I think that there's probably enough there to keep most people satisfied. Yeah, there's not a ton of options though. To be honest, there's not a ton of options for your characters. More so than the previous games, sure. But yeah, no, it's character creator. I hope that in the future they do add more stuff to that. That'd be nice. Yeah, no, but I've been having a blast with it. Combat, really what it all comes down to with these games is the combat, and the combat is cool. Nice, crunchy, feels good. It's very gory. Body parts. I'm playing as a necromancer, and I'm like a corpse explosion build. So there's lots of body parts flying, blood everywhere, gushing sound effects and whatnot. And yeah, it's a lot of fun for that. It's super smooth too. I got it on PC. I shouldn't say I rarely see frame rate drop. Sometimes when I teleport back to town and whatnot, it'll slow down just a hair. But it's really not that bad. When you're out there and you're doing the things that matter, it's very smooth, very satisfying.
nice.
Yeah. I would love to party up with some people. I've got one friend that we've been playing together, and obviously parties of 4 are welcome. So I would love to get other people in there to play with us.
I think the show is actually called Party of 5.
Party 5. Party 5. Nice.
Yeah.
That's a deep cut.
I don't think I can really dip into something like Diablo for at least a couple of weeks.
Especially with Final Fantasy coming out, like even I,
Yeah.
you know, although I'm planning on playing that on stream, so I'll probably be doing Diablo 4 off stream between sessions. But with a game like Final Fantasy, I'm almost like stressing out about playing it on stream because I know that these 2 to 3 hour sessions that I do each night aren't going to be enough to satiate me, you know? Like I know that I'm going to be sitting there itching, wanting more when I'm off camera.
Right.
And it's going to be tough to, you know, hold off. Just like Resident Evil 4 was. I was like, fuck, man, that's all I wanted to do was play that game, and I had to wait until 9 o'clock each night.
Jesus.
Man, I'd completely forgotten about Diablo 4. Like,
Yeah.
That's another one that in any other year could very easily take a top spot in a game of the year. But it's in tough this year.
Very, very. It's been just this month. It's in tough competition, right? Like, let alone all 11 other months. But it's very good. It really is. It's very, very good. I feel like the team at Blizzard sat down and was like, okay, we need to fix our mistakes. We need to right our wrongs with Diablo Immortal. And I will say, there is some stupidly expensive cosmetic DLC in Diablo 4, but not necessary whatsoever. You don't need to pay for it. But yeah, it's there. It's there. And I'm sure that they're making a lot of money with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, you know, Anybody that had any sort of issues with Diablo Immortal, you will not have those issues with this game. So, if there's a little bit of trepidation there because you felt burned by Immortal. Don't worry. Dive into 4. You'll like it.
Well, they did the smart thing. They went to the free agent market and they hired Rod Ferguson, a guy who knows how to make a cinematic game, who knows how to make an impactful story from his time with Gears and other stuff. And, looks like it shows.
Yeah.
You sign the right people and you give them the resources. That's half the battle, right?
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Sick.
Very excited to see what they do because obviously with Diablo 3, they supported that game basically right up until Diablo 4's launch, which was like 11 years later, something like that.
Yeah,
it was
like 9 or 10. It's crazy.
It was season after season after season. So I'm super excited to see where Diablo 4 goes. Especially because with 3, a lot of people said that Diablo 3 wasn't very good when it first came out. By the end of its life cycle, everybody was like, this is fucking awesome. So now what are they going to do with the game where critics and players alike, right from the get-go, are like, this is awesome? I don't think I've seen one bad review for it. They've all been 9s and 90s plus.
Yeah, it's looking pretty rock solid, pretty tight. I'm intimidated by this because I'm a serious Diablo addict. I'm a real. I put probably a 4-digit amount of hours into D3.
Damn.
So I was thinking about it because I was just like, some of my characters I put like a couple hundred hours into, and I have raised a lot of fucking characters to max level in D3.
Yeah.
So like,
and this one's gonna get its hooks in you then. As soon as you take a bite of the apple, yeah, you're gonna be hooked. Especially because like I feel like it plays much more similarly to Diablo 3, but the aesthetic is way, way closer to Diablo 2. And I know that was one of the big complaints with 3 with players. They were like, oh, this doesn't feel as dark and as gothic and as, as disturbing, so to speak, as Diablo 2 did.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Very good.
All right.
It's fucking gorgeous too. I want to say that as well. It's really, really nice to look at. The environments are great.
Dope.
Yeah.
Should we jump across and talk about some Xbox? Since we gave PlayStation the full treatment, maybe we should
we'll put a little time into old Captain Xbox.
Before we do that, can I just ask, because I wasn't here last time, you must have talked about the Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta reveal.
Yes, we did.
Dude, I was crying. I mean, not really, but I was crying on the inside.
Oh boy. There was
Oh yeah. Okay.
There was all kinds of nonsense on the internet. People were like, I knew what it was the minute I saw a bird. And I was like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. But Snake's face coming into view. I was like, oh my god, it's happening.
Yeah.
And reusing the original voice acting.
Oh, dude. Because last time we were talking about this, I was saying how disappointed I was with Twin Snakes because they brought the same actors back, but they re-recorded the lines. I was super happy to hear that they're just going to be taking the original voice lines. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Can't wait to see what they put out. And it's a Konami internal team. So it could go either way.
Yeah. I have no doubt it's going to be fantastic. Just a matter of time, right? What do you think? 2027? 6?
Oh, I was going to say 2025.
2025.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because they're not.
Yeah, 27's kind of far off. Yeah, 25.
Because it's the same motion capture data and it's the same voice work. Like, I think 2025 at the absolute latest.
Apparently, the only one they brought in studio to re-record their stuff was Donna Burke. who blew this hat off the story before they announced it. It turned out that maybe she did drop a tweet that she shouldn't have. They're excited to see her new rendition of Snake Eater.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, couldn't have
Oops.
been better to include that in the trailer too.
Ah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. As they do have all the assets, or a lot of assets already from the Snake Eater pachinko machine.
Right. Yeah.
So, they've got that snake model, they've got a boss model, they've got a bunch of stuff already. So, maybe it
Mhm.
could be sooner than that. It could even be next year.
Ooh. God damn. Maybe to go along with the PS5 Pro.
Could be.
Yeah, it might be something. Yeah. Similar release windows there. But yeah, Xbox.
Okay, so
How about it?
first up, they showed off Avowed, which I thought looked pretty rad. Just
I
like
have a request. I have the video, like the actual video, and I'm never going to find the games if we jump around.
okay.
They did Fable first.
Did they? Oh, so they listed Avowed first. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So Fable looks hilarious.
This is going to be fun for me because I actually haven't seen the showcase. So this is going to be
really?
the first time. Yeah, this is going to be the first time I'm seeing a lot of this footage.
Fable looks like the tits.
I hope.
They
I
say it's
hope it
in-game
does.
footage, but it looks phenomenal.
Is this dude from what's that show?
Yeah.
That British, that funny
Yeah,
British
it's
show?
like the
Yeah.
IT crowd. You're thinking of
Yes,
that
yes,
dude?
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I-
Richard Ayoade.
Oh fuck, this looks sweet.
The facial animation and capture looks really, really good. So potentially the question of can Playground make a game that's not Forza Horizon is answered.
Is Peter Molyneux still a part of this?
No. He's living on a
Yeah,
private
no.
island somewhere for sure.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But not a lot to go off of in this trailer. There's
A lot of
no
cinematic, yeah.
no year, no date. Just it exists. Here's kind of what we're going for.
Yeah.
I remember them doing this a lot with Fable 3 as well. Sure, the cinematics that they were showing off beforehand looked great, and then it came out and people weren't as pleased with it as you thought they might have been.
Yeah. At the start of this trailer, it does say in-game footage.
Yes.
Okay.
What that means, I don't know. I'm still not super happy with how they approached that stuff. Like you could have said playing on a Series X.
Yeah.
In-game footage from
They-
PC.
They used to say that shit, but then like now they say trickier stuff like, oh, using in-engine footage. And you're like, yeah, what the fuck does that mean? Prick?
Game Pass?
Game Pass day one.
Woo,
Game Pass
yeah.
Day one.
Fuck yeah, that's a big pickup. Well, I'll be there day one. Yeah, fucking right.
So then they rolled right into this this next game from Compulsion, who made Contrast on the PS4, and then they made We Happy Few.
We Happy Few. Yeah, that
which
game
was-
did a few interesting things. I don't think it was fully realized, but it was interesting in parts.
Yeah. So they show literally nothing of what this game is, but the art is pretty stunning.
Yeah, it's rock solid.
Mm.
Everything looks like it's carved from wood, and it's doing that the Spider-Verse half frame rate thing.
I was gonna say, is it supposed to be like stop motion esque?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So I'm conflicted. I don't really know what this is gonna be.
Dude's got Yoshimitsu vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could
He's
be rad.
He's playing
could
the
be-
blues something fierce, by the way.
Is he?
Yeah,
I don't have
fierce
the audio
blues.
up, but
I'm gonna have to go and listen to this after.
yeah.
Is this gonna be a recurring theme though? Was there a lot of cinematics, less gameplay shown off during showcase here?
I mean, yes, in a way. They do show some gameplay in spots, but there's not a whole lot of this is an extended segment of this game.
Right.
It's kind of a
Okay.
supercut of this or that. The exception being the Starfield Direct at the end.
Oh, okay. Well, I
Which,
would hope they would have gameplay to show at that.
well, it's like 45 minutes. And
Oh,
I think potentially it is the best produced presentation of a video game I've ever seen.
really?
It's phenomenal. And the game looks fucking awesome.
Well, thank God.
And I
The
thought,
Xbox really needed a home run, you know? They've really needed a home run for a while.
if it follows through on all the things they said it will be and what it will do, man,
Yeah.
it might be my game of the year.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's another contender potentially.
Yeah.
And it's set up for what, October? November?
September 6th.
Oh, September. So it's not too far off.
Yeah. But man,
South of midnight. Yeah. Yeah, I can't really say anything about that.
no.
But it will be coming to Game Pass, so
So, I'll start jumping ahead if we run out of stuff to say about these things. So next up was Star Wars Outlaws, the new
Ubisoft.
the new game from Ubisoft Massive, the
Nice.
people behind the Division. And this trailer that was at the Xbox show was cinematic only, and people were going, "There's no way it looks like that." And then they showed gameplay at the Ubisoft thing the day after, and it does look like that.
Huh.
And it kind of shot up my list of things that I would be very, very interested to play.
Yeah, it does look super dope. I'm so excited for a good Star Wars game with lasers instead of lightsabers.
Yeah, this chick is female Han Solo. So
yeah,
in the gameplay demo, they show lots of what looks like faction rep systems becoming wanted. It actually reminded me quite a bit of Red Dead 2.
Nice.
So there's that.
Yeah, look
Become
forward
an
to that
outlaw.
shit.
Have an absurdly cute, cuddly little sidekick, as is stipulated in any Lucasfilm contract.
Yeah, it's important. You can't make a Lucasfilm property for Star Wars, especially without something adorable, to get into terribly dangerous situations. Put it in mortal peril, so to speak.
But yeah, it looks pretty boundless. Like it's seamless ground to space, flying the ship. There's dogfighting. Lord knows how many planets. There's a
Baker's dozen at
Rancor.
least, I would assume.
Yeah. But yeah, Star Wars Outlaws. I think they said 2024.
Yeah, some nebulous date.
That's good.
So
That's
then
good.
after Outlaws, they went into the strangest thing I think I've maybe ever seen, which was Sarah Bond on a stage set to like triumphant State of the Union music, talking about Xbox and its commitment to gamers. It was very odd. And the pacing was weird.
They got her wrapped up in a green screen.
Yeah, it's just like I wore some chroma key for you guys.
Yeah.
Like, you can't hear what she's saying, but you can tell the pacing is not natural.
Oh, who is this?
Sarah Bond. She's a
Yeah,
I don't know, some sort of Xbox big shot.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's like VP.
I don't know
Xbox
where
Game Studios
yeah.
or something.
what? Larry Herb couldn't fucking make the trip. Larry Herb's face wasn't good enough for the presentation.
No Major Nelson. All right, then there was this 33 Immortals.
That looks fascinating.
From Thunder Lotus, who previously made I forget what.
Oh God, it's on the tip of my tongue, but it doesn't matter. I was watching the trailer. I thought to myself, "Geez, this could be kind of cool, kind of fascinating." And then they're like, "33-player co-op." I'm like, "Oh, okay, we're in it now."
33-player co-op. Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like A bunch of people with a hard on for Hades got together and did this.
Yep.
Which, hey, that's a fine thing to have in common, you know?
Yeah, no, it's not a bad thing.
But did I ever want to play Hades with 32 other people?
Probably not.
I mean, maybe it
Probably
can
not.
be cool. But
Yeah, just the sight of like a whole bunch of you just like, we're going to go fight a giant horrible
Look at
thing. I'm
that.
like, all right, sick.
But especially if you're matchmaking, it just takes one shithead to ruin it for everybody.
One shithead, and I like if you're actually in there with 33 people and everybody's casting shit and doing attacks and whatnot, like how are you even going to keep track of your character?
Personally, hoping that you can jump in there with 4 people, 5 people, and fill it out with bots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
I mean, yeah, or if if you don't have to play 33 players, if you could jump in there with a team of 4 and just go ahead,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up to 33.
But being on Game Pass, yeah, I'll check it out. Why not?
That was a theme for this whole presentation. Like everything was day one on Game Pass. The Microsoft money truck has been hard at work.
Yeah.
Yeah. They,
Payday?
a lot of stuff. Yeah. Payday.
Yeah, next was Payday 3, which looks, I don't know, exactly like Payday 2.
Dude, Payday 2 was so fucking bad. It made me want to unalive myself. So
That's exciting. So we're gonna. So you're really looking forward to 3, huh? If it's just
Well, you
like
can play it
2?
on Game Pass, though.
but you're right, Paul. It looks the exact same. Like even visually, it looks the exact same.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that was part of. That was the first spot in this where I was like, "Eh."
Yeah.
So then it was the first of several Persona-oriented related things, which is a remake of Persona 3.
Oh
Yeah.
yes. Yes. I heard
It
about
doesn't
this.
have the there's the FBC or like the extra version, the extended edition, doesn't have any of that content, which has some people in a tizzy. But yeah, they're like, I guess we're just gonna make the base game and then maybe expand on that.
I mean, the
Started
menus
playing
look
the-
good, like a Persona
Yeah.
game should.
Looks very much. I started playing a little bit of Persona 5 on Game Pass a few weeks back. It's fucking sweet. First thing that really jumped out to me was the music is incredible.
Oh,
Mhm.
absolutely killer soundtrack.
Yeah,
Top shelf shit. Persona games have always sounded amazing.
man. This looks cool.
So that guy's showing up on Game Pass day one, as you might expect.
And would you say it's like a full remake or just a remaster?
Full remake.
It's a they're doing it in the Persona 5 style, I think,
Cool.
because it's like a PS2 game.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
could use a little love and attention in that respect.
So then we got to Avowed.
Yeah, my apologies. It's just got this like weird first person fantasy vibe, which like sometimes that's fun and it looks really slick, like graphically. So I'm, hook it up. And it's by Obsidian. And it's by fucking Obsidian. So
It looks like first person Outer Worlds, but I was interested in the thing they showed originally, like something dark and creepy and, a little bit different for them. This, I don't know, I'm sure it will be good. Well written, kind of Skyrim-esque.
yeah.
But this felt more generic than what they showed originally for this game.
It's possible they just cut
It's these animations.
trailer with some new footage and some new editing styles, just so they could kick it with a wider audience.
This looks like a game that could have been made 7 years ago.
Yeah, the combat looks really clunky. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm curious to see what the actual final product is, because this is all sort of misleading and doesn't really give you a real picture of what's up. But
I
you're
think-
right. It does, and the engine and the appearance is a bit
I think more than anything we've seen so far, though, this is like the game that you would want to see on Game Pass.
yeah.
'Cause you wouldn't ever. I mean, maybe that's harsh, but you wouldn't ever want to spend $1 on this. But I would be curious enough to try it. You
Yeah,
know, if
for
I
sure.
can play it for free, sure, I'll check it out. Maybe it does. Maybe it does blow me away. Maybe it does satisfy some sort of 2015 craving that I've had. You know?
You needed some more Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, exactly. I'm digging the fact that a lot of these are coming out next year because this year is just so padded already. You know, there's already so much stuff coming out that
Yeah.
I would feel so much more overwhelmed if half this stuff was coming out this year. More Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, with
Yep.
a Monkey Island expansion.
They've been talking about this for a while, though, haven't they?
Yeah.
It seems pretty big. It
Yeah.
seems like a pretty big honking deal.
It's good to see they're still supporting this.
It looked a little bit more story oriented than most of the Sea of Thieves stuff I've seen. You know, there's more characters. Guybrush is in there. So maybe there's a bit more of a quest, which would be nice to see. So there's only so many hours you can spend floating around on a ship.
Yeah.
You know, kind of aimless.
Best water in gaming, still, I will say.
We'll hold,
I mean, they got to
hold
get
that
that
thought
right.
for
There's so
later in
fucking
this
much of it.
presentation.
Yeah.
Let me know if I should jump ahead here.
Yeah. Sea of Thieves, you know. If you know, you know.
You do. You do.
So then we got more Flight Simulator. Flight Simulator 2024, which
New game or
a new game,
oh really?
which has what looks to be campaign. Like
Oh.
mountain search and
Yeah.
rescue and firefighting and flying private jets.
Yeah. They list 100 fucking jobs and they're like, do all this shit. Don't
Yeah.
just fly around for nothing. Fucking fly around for imaginary money. And we're like, yeah, okay.
Well,
Fucked up.
search and rescue action. Okay.
Cargo transport. There was like aerial construction was one.
Okay, here's a weird thing. The graphics are so realistic, they're boring. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's like this doesn't even feel like I'm watching a fucking video game. It's just like here's a high concept 3D recreation of just some shit that happens in the world. And you're like, okay, that's not really what I come here for, but all right.
With the
Looking at this, like, yeah, it's pretty, but I'm not convinced that this is pulling in players that don't like Flight Simulator.
no.
You know, I don't think that they're drawing a new audience with this.
Oh yeah, no, this is definitely even the trailer feels very much like for the fans, where it's like, here's some cool shit you can do. Doesn't this all look familiar yet fascinating? Get into
Yeah.
this, you know.
Yeah.
I love this tiny little racing plane.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
little-
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's good shit, but
No.
you know.
Hot air balloon trips. Is anybody going to pick that? No.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
would you?
So, yeah, I guess it's another thing. It's another finger they can hold up and say, we showed this many Xbox games.
Yeah.
Then they showed this Flight Simulator expansion, Dune expansion.
Oh.
So fly the dragonfly thing from Dune
Yep.
over the dunes, which sounds exceptionally boring.
Yeah. It does.
Like, what are you going to do?
100%. This looks
Yeah.
like just a big like test area that the developers had, that the developers used to fucking test different kinds of flight craft.
Yeah.
And-
Arrakis isn't fun to fly into. It's not.
Right.
It's cool to experience in a story generally, but it's not fun to like. Let's go there. Let's go to Arrakis.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Dune if you want.
Too many games to play to get into Flight Simulator. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like
And it's
Like the
it's
next
just a
one.
whole different cockpit setup than what you're rocking right now.
yeah,
You have to- you have to
exactly.
change
I'd have to-
everything.
Yeah, totally. I like my simulation stuff, but
So then came Hellblade 2,
Yep.
and uh, this was the most disappointing trailer of the show.
Didn't we have some people praising it? I'll say that. That's the nicest thing I can say. Praising it in the group chat.
Really?
Did we? Was this the one?
Ooh, I don't know
I don't
about
remember.
that.
I'd have to go back and check. I thought I saw some people saying that this looked unbelievable.
It looks
I-
fine, but it doesn't show what the game is. You know, there's 15 seconds of Senua crawling through a tight space, then she walks forward to a pond, and then it's a cutscene. And the sound design is great, as was in the first game, but I still don't know what is going to make this a better game than that first game. Hellblade to me stood on its own. This is a thing, it's self contained. That's all I needed of that.
Yeah.
Unless this is doing something different, I don't know why I should be that interested.
Yeah.
I don't
Could just
remember
be-
the first game at all.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you might be the perfect candidate for Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. This really did not land with me. I found myself scrolling Twitter while this was happening.
Yep. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah,
Don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's going to be good.
Yeah, impressive visuals don't mean shit anymore. Everything looks good. Everything is visually impressive now. You know, we're at the point, Unreal Engine 5 and whatnot. Everything looks good.
An excellent point.
Yeah, you got to do more than that if you want to capture the bored and belligerent masses. You gotta fucking you gotta show us some sick new tricks, man.
Hmm.
So, anyways, there's a lot of this where she's talking to the gods or the voices or whatever.
Whoop-de fucking do.
But
Xbox.
nothing happens in this trailer.
Come on, Xbox.
And it's coming out next year, I guess.
Sweet. Another Game Pass one, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll put a pin in it and I'll remember this conversation and I'll play it and then I'll let you know if I was actually the right kind of person for this game.
Yeah.
Next up was a sequel to Like a Dragon,
Yeah.
where Ichiban is
Oh yeah.
naked on a beach.
Yeah.
Looks to be Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah, he's somewhere outside of Japan, which is unusual.
Which could be interesting because
Yeah.
he does not speak English. So that could be an interesting fish out of water story.
Oh,
Cock
yeah.
out. Like as if he doesn't get arrested here. His cock's out. Nobody notices?
She's
Everyone notices.
she's about to notice, but-
Everyone on the beach.
Must just
It's
be
like, wow.
minuscule in size.
Yeah. Notice she had to take a very close look.
Yeah, look. He doesn't look impressed. Oh, well, actually, wait. Yeah, she looks more shocked than anything. Yeah.
The one guy says, "Surf's up, dude."
Honestly though, these guys with these Like a Dragon games and Judgment, they've been knocking them out of the park.
Yeah.
The last like 3 or 4 of them have been stellar.
Well, I was shocked to see this here when there was like another in this universe at the PlayStation Showcase, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called, but
Yeah.
then
See.
we came to Fallout 76, which still
Yeah.
exists.
Oh, really? Yeah. I guess I should have known. But
They're expanding it. They're going to Atlantic City.
Yeah, they had a fun little song to tell you all about it.
Mhm.
They made very clear to tell you repeatedly that there are 15 million people who've played Fallout 76. 76 of
well,
them
that-
are still playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that
so-
yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. When this comes out, I'll do my yearly sojourn back into the into Appalachia to see if the game
Yeah.
still sucks balls or not.
Let me know. Let me know. I'll join you. I've got my account. I'll definitely hop in there with you.
Yeah, you guys can see if it sucks balls together.
I mean, you got to assume
It's true.
Okay.
balls. It does suck.
So then moving on, we had a Capcom game.
New? Something new?
Yes.
Yep.
It's called Path
Ooh.
of the Goddess.
Oh.
And we didn't get too much in the way of actual extended gameplay on this, but it looks like it might be a Hades sort of thing or a roguelite.
Yeah, I was
Running
curious
through
about that. The
gates.
perspective. Yeah,
It looks cool though.
it does.
Capcom's another one that's just been home run after home run over the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Maybe even going all the way back to Resident Evil 7. I feel like when they dropped that, the Capcom resurgence was on.
Yeah.
And everything they've dropped since then has just been phenomenal.
Yeah, they're on such a roll. They're greenlighting everything.
Yeah. They're the Netflix of gaming now, which probably not a good comparison to make.
No,
think-
not
I don't thi-
not
Yeah,
particularly.
yeah. But I mean, this looks cool.
Yeah, I'm curious to see a solid, relatable chunk of gameplay just to get a better idea of what it feels like.
It's very different.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a fighting
Heavy on the-
game. It's not Resident
Yeah.
Evil.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's nice to see some fucking gameplay.
Yeah.
There you have it. There's the gameplay. Then
It's cool.
We moved on to Forza, where they had to show some real life cars on the stage because they have to.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's an important part of a Forza presentation to show off the car you could potentially drive while inside of it and nowhere else.
So then they just showed this cinematic. I don't know. I don't think it looks as good as GT7.
No. And honestly, if you're not dropping a VR mode, which obviously they won't be, it just won't be able to compete.
Fair enough. It is coming out this year though, October. And it'll be on Game Pass.
Cool.
So, yeah. Forza.
Forza, yeah. No, this isn't getting me hyped like GT7 was.
No.
Well, yeah, that's an evolution of the experience. This is more of a hard last run from the old guard.
Yeah. Oh.
So next up, Elder Scrolls Online. You knew it had to be there.
Oh yeah.
It's another expansion.
See, but yeah, look at how much this looks like Avowed.
It does. It really does.
Yikes. Yeah. Point it out and it becomes obvious, clear.
You don't want to see that. Anyways. You could put together a nice corpse explosion build in that.
Yep.
We had Overwatch 2.
Oh yeah, after they screwed over their fan base, now they're dropping some new stuff in the Xbox showcase.
Yep.
And it costs I think it costs $15 to permanently access some of like the missions or whatever.
In case anybody's wondering what I mean by them screwing over their fan base. So for years they had this story content planned for Overwatch 2 that basically everybody was excited for. And they recently announced that after years of waiting, it's not happening. They're just going to drop it.
Yep.
Basically, wasn't it the reason why they made Overwatch 2?
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much.
Right? Like, and now I guess they're foregoing it.
Talk about mishandling a franchise, though.
Oh,
God, it was such a cash cow.
Yeah.
It's a gimme. Just tap it in, and
Yeah.
they, oh, yikes.
Yeah, they fucked that one pretty hard.
Here's the second of the Persona stuff.
Mm. Oh, what's this? A little chibi
Yeah.
Persona chibi.
Honestly, I
Yeah.
don't remember this at all. I think I was in a fugue state at the time.
Well,
In a
they,
fugue state, like Walter
they just
White.
put you
Yeah.
they just put you in that fucking Overwatch 2 coma, and you're like, all right, I'm not engaged. And then you bring this in, it's like, you didn't have a chance, buddy. I'm sorry.
Like,
Yeah,
what a
brutal.
stretch to drop it out of the A's and into the B's with Hellblade, Womp, Forza, Elder Scrolls, Overwatch, and then this. Like,
Yeah,
my
the
God,
the whole
completely
showcase here.
dissociated.
At this point, the momentum is dead.
Yeah.
It started off pretty hot. Fable, uh,
Yeah.
what that
Persona 5
Ubisoft Star
Tactica.
Wars.
Persona 5 Tactica, it was called, by the way.
Oh, oh yeah,
Day one on Game Pass. Have fun.
this year as well. Mm. Yeah, I probably won't be playing that one. But if it comes out and people are like, you have to, at least it's free,
Yeah.
somewhat, you know.
So here's the Starfield trailer,
Nice.
and it is a lot of game. There's a lot of video game going on. Never mind the 1,000 planets. And I saw in an interview, apparently this has more dialogue than Fallout 4 and Skyrim combined.
Oh my god.
It has dogfighting that actually looks kind of fun. There's a like almost Star Wars Squadrons power management in the ship when you're flying around. The ship building looks pretty good. The base building looks pretty good. The combat looks fun. The detail that is there. They claim it's
Yeah.
the least buggy game they've ever made.
I was just gonna say, this just seems like a recipe for an ungodly amount of Bethesda jank.
So remember that they said this was coming out last year and they pushed it back.
Right.
If that
Yeah,
time
'cause
was spent fixing bugs and polishing it up and making sure it runs at 30 because it's going to run at 30.
I would be fucking shocked if this comes out and it just works. I'd be like, what happened?
Yeah.
Todd, what happened?
He didn't say it. He didn't say it just works.
I promise
No,
you.
but like
Day
yeah.
one, all over YouTube, infinite money glitches, infinite parts, you know, infinite resources, etc., etc. That stuff's going to be everywhere.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Their game's not usually known for looking that good or sounding that good, but I'm blown away by the lighting and, some of the landscapes. Even the character models don't look too bad.
No,
The ships look really cool.
no, that's the thing. Like, I talked about Bethesda jank, but like, I fucking love me some Elder Scrolls. I fucking love me some Fallout.
Oh, the
I'll-
jank is part of the charm for sure.
Exactly. I'll be there day one for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well at least the fucking NPCs still look like haunted dolls.
Sears mannequins, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
they do.
It's really good. It's so good. They were just showing shit off. We're like, this all looks amazing, but whenever somebody talks to you to give you a mission or whatever, it's like they just prop this thing up with fucking balsa wood. I don't know.
We've still never seen a face before.
Yeah, people don't move when they talk. That's a fallacy. That's something they exaggerate in movies for comic effect. Nobody moves when they talk.
Yeah.
No, that's cool though. That's cool. It kind of looked a little bit in parts like Mass Effect, the combat did,
Yeah.
especially Mass Effect 2 specifically. And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing that stood out in the direct, I would recommend anybody who's half interested in the game watch it. It's really well done. Seems like the perks and things like that have been reworked in a pretty interesting way. Um,
Yeah.
Lots of
Bunch of
different
devs.
traits and backgrounds and things that you can play around with, so you can really get a unique experience.
I mean, you said it was what arguably the greatest trailer you've seen, that 45-minute one.
I wouldn't say the greatest trailer I've seen, but it's the best presentation of a game
Yeah,
I've seen. It's very well put together.
Yeah.
gonna have to check it out.
Yeah.
Because all the devs chime in with like cool shit that they like, where it's just like, what's your build spec? What are you specking towards? And people are like, I want to build a mind control aliens. I want to build a stealth way out of any situation. I want to murder everyone I meet. And it's just like, okay, rad.
Nice.
There's one strange lady who's like, I collect all the sandwiches and put them in the cargo
Yes.
hold.
Wait,
It's so
good.
wait, in real life, this is what she's a real person, or in the game
Yeah,
she
real
collects the
person.
sandwiches?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, that's
one of the
my
devs-
gameplay style. I collect the sandwiches.
Yeah.
and
I
throw them
collect
in
the
cargo.
sandwiches.
Like, fuck
And
yeah.
it just shows us a screen, a little video of just like her like pointing out, and it is just a big fuck off pile of sandwiches in one room of her ship. Like, okay. And somebody else was like, I like to make my ships look like animals. So this one is the platypus, and it was like, this one is like the duck or whatever. I'm like, oh my god.
Now,
That was
what's
cool.
this?
The one that we're looking at now is some climbing game.
Yeah.
Rock climbing as a little boy.
Jusant?
Yes.
Or Usant?
It's a very. It's one of those indie games where it's like, this could be cool, or it could just be a puzzle every screen, and you get so exhausted.
Yeah,
But you know,
yeah, that didn't really get me going.
So here's the water I was talking about. Look at that shit.
Yeah, it's pretty sexy.
But I forget what this game was called, but it looked like a survival horror kind of thing on an abandoned oil rig.
oh yeah, Jesus.
Looks. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of dope. It's kind of dope. Still Wakes the Deep, it's called.
Still Wakes the Deep, yeah. Reminds me of Soma.
Ah,
Great game, by the way.
nice.
Yes. Sick water effects in that one. Jesus.
Still
Day
wakes
one on
the
Game
deep.
Pass.
Yep.
Back up the truck.
Early 2024. Yeah, that seems like a perfect game to stream.
Yeah,
sure-
every time somebody says early 2024, I'm thinking that it's all going to end up on the same day in February again.
February 21st. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll just be like every time they say that, it's like what they mean is like we're going to put it on the hell date.
What is this bullshit?
Yeah, this. Look, I mean, I'm sure it's well thought out and interesting, but it looks so generic. There's so many games that are this.
Terrible frame rate.
Yeah, real chunky.
I just have to point that out.
Yeah.
Looks choppy as fuck.
A good example of what happens when you don't have good frame pacing. You know,
Yeah.
it might be running at 30 frames a second technically, but it's chunking all over the place.
Yeah.
Real generic name too. Dungeons of Hinterberg.
Oh.
But Game Pass, so maybe try it.
I'll at least give them credit for showing gameplay.
Yeah. So next, yeah,
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. So
expansion?
apparently Phantom Liberty comes with a complete fucking overhaul of the base game.
Really?
So they're going to change how cars and cops work. They're going to change how powers work. They're going to change how cyberpsychosis works. They're going to add a new ending. It's a fucking gigantic release. And
Also,
the expansion on top of that.
also the villain is Idris Elba.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So,
Like at this point, fuck CD Projekt. Like you got to just do it for Keanu. Look at how much effort he's putting into this.
this is all he's got left.
This is seriously.
The tank is empty right now.
Matrix 4.
John
That's all he
Wick
has left.
John Wick 4. John Wick 4 was great.
Yeah. Oh
He
yeah.
hasn't
Fair
spoken
enough.
this many words in years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe maybe it's time to start playing Cyberpunk. I was planning on doing that on stream.
Well,
When
I mean, whenever the Phantom Liberty release drops, it's sometime this year, I think, right?
I'm sure it will tell us at the end of this.
Okay.
But I know quite a few people played it at Summer Games Fest and all that stuff, and sounds like this is what they should have put out originally.
right, so that was going to be my question. Am I going to feel as if I missed out on something if I haven't played the original and I just get into this Phantom Liberty version of the game? But if it sounds like this is what should have come out, then probably not, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean there is a story there, but it's so linear. There's very little
Yeah.
branching off. Um, yeah, I don't know. I know they've updated it quite a bit and it plays better now, but
Yeah.
the construction of that original game was flawed.
Yep.
This looks cool though.
Sure. Oh, this looks rad as hell.
Idris Elba looks like a badass.
Yeah.
As usual.
I had a lot of fun when I finally went back and played this for realsies at like several patches later at like 1.3 or whatever. I had a great time.
How much of that do you think though is that they actually improved the game that much versus you now knew what to expect?
I mean, it's definitely a mix of both. September 26th.
There you
Okay.
have it.
September 26th. Okay, so we'll have to be ready for it by then.
I don't know.
We need to finish our Witcher 3 playthrough.
There you go.
So then they rolled into what got the giddiest scream out of me for this whole thing. Cities Skylines 2.
Oh, hell yeah.
City Skylines is the best city builder that's ever been made, and this is the second one.
Yeah, it looks slick. Which great if you like making cities, then this is going to be a fucking awesome time.
Yep. Yep, I noticed in the trailer there's lots of spots where things that you had previously mod into the game are now part of the game.
Nice.
But anyways, it's coming to Game
Anyways.
Pass. Shit, yeah.
Yeah, that rips.
PC Game Pass as well, I would assume.
You know, it didn't distinguish anywhere. So I
Really?
assume it's both on for everything.
It's got to be for a game like that. It's got
Yeah,
to be.
this prefers a mouse and keyboard for sure.
So then next up, the next Persona adjacent thing. It's kind of a Persona. I can't remember what the title is.
Right. It's metaphor Mizario or something. Something.
I think it's just kind of Cyber Persona.
Well, it's like it's a fantasy vibe, right? It's their fantasy franchise. Fantasio. There we go. Okay.
I mean, sure. I've never been hooked by a Persona game, so
No,
I
me
know
neither.
this one's not for me.
You should check out 5 on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Honestly, right from the get-go, just gives off a very cool vibe.
Maybe if I run out of 100-hour RPGs to play,
Yeah.
I'll get in there.
Yeah, apparently Persona 5 has like the longest campaign in gaming right now.
James, you said it took you like 100 hours, right?
Oh, I never finished P5.
Damn.
But 100 hours definitely seems about right. Well, 80, I
Did,
think, maybe 80
did
or 85.
did you play Royal or the
Yeah.
original? Yeah.
Royal.
So Royal. So even with it being streamlined, somewhat apparently.
I've. There comes a time in every RPG nerd's life when they're like, yes, Persona games are the games for me. I did my tour of duty back during 3 and 4. Okay. So I don't feel like I need to invest any more of my life in a Persona style RPG.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's going through his tour of duty with these kinds of games right now. But eventually he'll burn out on it like a person must because they're just so fucking intense and so unforgiving. And you can only really tolerate that for so long before you're just now there's a lot of games out there and most of them are way more accepting and cool than this in like mechanically. So bye.
Yeah.
You don't get to the end and it's just like, all right, I've reached the end of the game. 20 more hours. And like most it's just like intense preparation for a final showdown. You're like, nah, I'm good, actually.
So, anyways,
This looks
now,
all right.
yeah, it's kind of looks like a dungeon crawler brawler. It's from the people who made the Banner Saga.
It's got that Castle Crashers co-op side-scrolling action to it.
Yes,
Looks cool.
that's a fascinating perspective to take on.
As a mad generic title. But
Let's play that.
yeah, I would totally play that.
All right, Towerborn. Cool.
The Banner Saga games are really well written, and interesting to play. So if it's got any of that kind of branching path stuff, it would be pretty fun.
Speaking of us playing games, y'all want to check out that Ninja Turtles DLC that's gonna drop
Ooh,
at some
there's
point?
DLC.
Did you hear about
Yeah.
that?
No.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
there's
Oh yeah.
there's DLC coming.
Oh, let's go slap the Foot Clan around.
Fuck yeah.
Let's go. Okay, so this game is called Clockwork Revolution. It's being made by In Exile, aka the State of Decay people.
Motherfucker's got time travel.
I've seen this referred to as Bioclock.
Yeah, the similarities are almost legally actionable. Somebody did a side by side and it was a lot.
Yeah,
It does look rad though, so
it does. But also, State of Decay it plays really bad.
Weak as fuck. Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh boy.
What the fuck is going on here too?
Well, it's Bioshock Infinite too.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
could be good, could be dog shit. It could really go either way.
It's another one that's perfect for Game Pass.
Yeah. I mean, they're one of those studios that have, over the lifetime, consistently underperformed on quality. You know, they've got lots of cult games that people love to play, like State of Decay, but they've never got to that AAA level. So the question is, can Microsoft give them the support they need to turn this into a really tight, polished piece of work? I don't know. I bet it's coming to Game Pass, though. Coming in due time, so never.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
In due time, hey.
Clever, but cryptic.
So that would be 2025.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption.
Well, I feel like they would have said that if they thought that. Don't you think?
I mean, internally, I think they're probably saying, "Okay, yeah, we want 2025," but
yeah, we're not confident.
Shit happens. Yeah.
So yeah,
Back
that's
to Fable. That's it. Okay.
This is Phil talking about all the shit they showed.
Wow, they really ended with a fucking fart in church, wet fart in church there.
Well, because after this, it's just like 45 minutes of a deep dive into Starfield, which really made up for the fucking weaker ending of the direct proper. Because like they go deep. They go hard in the paint on the details and the visuals and like what they're fucking going for, and it's like, oh, it's sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they had a couple of bangers in there, no doubt. A couple of that Towerborn. Towerborn, is that what it was called?
Yeah.
I think that might be my dark horse of the whole thing. I really like the way that looked.
You know what's really interesting about that is that that trailer started up with an Xbox Game Studios Presents. And I didn't see anybody on the internet giving Xbox a hard time for buying an exclusive when the amount of heat put on Sony for buying things is like endless. But anyway,
Why is
I think
that?
it's totally I don't get it. I don't get the whole console war thing. If you have the smarts and the cash to secure an exclusive for your platform, it's a smart
Yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah.
Period. It's got nothing to do with hating the other guys. Also, Phil's wearing a Hexen t-shirt.
He is. He is wearing a Hexen t-shirt. I don't really know what to do with that information.
Bill, is this the guy everybody hates?
This is Phil Spencer.
I don't-
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are not pleased with how he's handled Xbox at this point.
Yeah.
But
I didn't really think he was in charge of much. I've always just sort of seen him as like the face, where it's like we need somebody very important whose job is mainly to appear on TV and on streams and like
Yeah.
on stages. It's like you're very personable, and we promise we'll pay you. It's not clear what you actually do.
I think technically he's the CEO.
Fuck, he's
Yeah,
probably
that's what I
bringing
just
home a pretty
described.
he's
Oh, I'm
probably
sure
bringing
he
home
bring-
a pretty good paycheck, eh?
Oh yeah. He's bringing home a big package of
Yeah. Oh.
Microsoft stock and
Yeah.
He's a very nice guy though. By the way,
Oh, you've met him?
he's
Yeah.
he's not stuck up at all. And the his I want everybody to play games. I want everybody to love games. It's
Yeah.
not a shtick. He truly believes that and believes in the vision of Game Pass.
Yeah,
and
I
all
mean
that
he
stuff.
believes that and everything, but then they drop a game like Redfall. So I don't know, Phil. I'm getting fucking conflicting.
Yeah.
Like,
So I mean, the buck stops with him if it's not working out. But how many layers did that get through before getting to him being the buck stopping there? Like who
Yeah.
else screwed up along the way? And maybe he should have done a better job of trimming some fat and making sure things were going well on the front lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, now the Starfield thing's going to start. I don't know if we want to watch that. You probably want to watch that with sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Cool. I thought it was
If you
pretty
haven't
good.
watched- yeah.
yeah, not bad.
If you
Yeah.
if you haven't watched the Starfield breakdown, you really want to take the time to do that. Just because, like, if nothing else, it very aptly communicates how passionate these fucking weirdos are about this game, and like
Yeah.
how invested they are all in it, like just generally, which is cool to see.
Yeah.
Surprised that the man himself, Todd Howard, didn't make an appearance for Starfield.
Oh, he does in the direct.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes up.
Yeah. But so yeah, Xbox. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think that either of the big players really did the blow me away thing that I kind of thought they would. But hey, that's a problem with my expectations, not on what they delivered.
Yeah.
Question for me is now like, what cards did Sony not play, and when are they going to play them?
It's possible. I mean, it's possible they put a lot of their eggs in the Spider-Man basket. They might because is the Tokyo Game Show that happens in September, I think.
Yep.
And that's generally a great chance for all these big companies, especially the Japanese ones, to really go in and show the rest of their hand. Because if you've got a big holiday release, that's when you fucking hype it up, or that's when you improve and increase the interest in your company the most.
I'm pretty confident that Spider-Man's their thing for this fall.
Can I
But-
say, with Spider-Man though,
Hmm.
yes, it looks good. It looks great. But holy fuck, does it ever look like the exact same game as the last one? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I love the first one, but I was blown away when they first showed off the first Spider-Man. The second one, I'm just like, okay, I'm looking forward to it. It's,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's definitely
uh,
more.
yeah. People are talking about it like it's the fucking greatest thing they've ever seen, and I'm like, it is the exact same game.
I think they've made some improvements, but they're not leaps and bounds like it was getting to the first Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So like when you see like screenshots like, oh, this is what this spot looks like in the first one versus the second one, you're like, all right, you've definitely made some changes, but it's nothing. It's nothing mind blowing. I think they're more kind of like part of the hype they're looking to hold on to is the standard comic book hype where it's like, oh shit, Venom's probably going to be in this one, and Kraken is cool, or the Hunter guy.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got that going for them, but they're not going to get that same graphical oomph
No.
they got when they debuted the first game. There's no way. Not when they're using like seems to be more or less the same engine with some extra bells and whistles strapped on.
Well, I mean,
Prediction.
they did so much with that first game that was, really stretching what a PS4 could do.
Yeah.
With the web swinging and the way the city streamed in, doing that on
Yeah.
a much more powerful console now looks less impressive. So maybe they don't have to use the same tricks and it loads more in a more
Right.
standard way or whatever, but it'd be hard to spot. So it's definitely got sequel energy.
Pretty disappointed that they all but confirmed, or I think they did confirm that we won't be getting co-op. Won't be getting that Peter Miles
No co-op.
co-op. Yeah.
No co-op.
I figured that was the whole point of bringing Miles into the story, especially at the end of the first game, the way they did. I thought that was basically what they were doing, or what they were going for, was to set up co-op for the sequel. Disappointed in that. I was going to ask you guys, though, predictions on who Venom turns out to be. I know this is a great debate online right now.
They did say that it's not Eddie Brock.
It's not Eddie. Yeah. I kind of think it's going to be Peter. They're going to throw a curveball it. It's going to be Peter.
I think Venom's got a separate actor.
Yeah. I mean, he can have a separate actor and still be Peter, though.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
I feel like
Either Peter or J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh man. Oh yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
there for that. Yeah, or like an extreme curveball. I don't know. Harry Osborn?
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. I like that.
I could see that if they haven't really done anything else with him.
Oh
at this
wait,
point. He's
Aunt
been
May.
around, so.
Aunt May is
And-
Venom.
Wow, they.
Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, baby. That'd be fucking wild. Especially because, Can I drop spoilers for the first game?
Oh, it's been out for like 5 years.
It's been out for a long time. So if you don't want to hear Spider-Man 1 spoilers, skip ahead right now. 3, 2, 1. So you think they dig Aunt May up and turn her into Venom? Oh, that'd be good stuff.
Yeah,
It could happen.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Mary Jane.
Ooh. That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
But yeah, I think I'm sure they will do a bombastic comic book story, and it'll be very fun. And there's new mechanics, and playing as Spider-Man with the symbiote looks awesome.
For sure. His new abilities and everything look great, but my God, does that combat ever look
The same.
it's the same as the first game? It is going to be exactly the same. One more prediction I have to ask of y'all. Who's the hidden villain? So they did that with the first game, where you didn't know that Was it Ock? You didn't know Doc Ock was in the game until he showed up? I'm pretty sure they
Yeah,
didn't show off Doc Ock.
Yeah, I feel like they showed like the Sinister Six, and then Doc Ock was a surprise.
Yeah. So
Um,
I've seen a lot of people talking about Green Goblin. See Green Goblin as the
yeah, I guess they didn't have any Goblin in either of the last two.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's a large pool to draw from, so tough to.
The deep roster, deep bench.
Well,
oh.
losing you a bit there. Maybe Sandman. I've always been pretty partial to Sandman.
I don't have any strong Sandman feelings.
No?
I'll say no.
What about Mysterio?
Ooh, hey, there you go.
They had some
Mysterio's
Mysterio
cool.
in the first one, I think, didn't they?
Oh, maybe.
There were a couple.
I don't remember
missions.
that, but
Yeah.
Sandman offers you the big set piece,
Of course, right?
so
Or he's the
that's not
size of
bad
a
call.
building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or maybe the lizard eats enough that he turns Godzilla size.
Wow. That'd be
Dope.
fun.
yeah.
What about the Hobgoblin?
Do you think he'd bypass Green Goblin and go straight to Hobgoblin?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Green Goblin, just like the Joker, feels kind of played out,
Yeah.
you know?
Did
Yeah.
they? I think they had the Green Goblin was in the first game, wasn't he? I feel like there was a boss fight against Green Goblin and Electro or something.
I don't think he was.
There's a vulture fight in a.
Oh, that's what
Vulture?
it is.
Yeah.
Man, does that seem like a long time ago.
Yeah.
But again, I think they're going with Spider-Man for this year, but I'm really curious what wasn't shown, because there was a lot of talk on the internet from insider type people of that is not what we expected. It was changed.
Oh. Interesting. Okay.
Like they decided to change things up last minute. And there's definitely spots in that showcase where it's like, why would you show this game?
Yeah.
Like, because it was filler.
Can't wait to see more Wolverine footage.
Oh,
Please.
I can't wait to see any Wolverine footage.
Yeah, yeah.
A
Please.
crumb, a speck.
A crumb, yeah. Just please give me 30 seconds of gameplay. Oh,
couple years.
yeah.
Insomniac's fast. That's probably 2025.
Not fast enough.
Yep.
Well, fellas, should we get the heck out of here?
Yeah.
Do that, yeah. Yep.
Say it's probably that time.
It's time for the podcast to end. And yeah, I might go watch the Starfield Direct again. I don't know.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
No, I had a chance to play the Texas Chainsaw Massacre tech test before I left a few weeks back. I would love to play that with y'all when it comes out in August or September, one of the two.
Yeah.
It's like a Dead by Daylight kind of thing.
Yeah, asymmetrical horror.
Oh, did you see
Down
the
with it.
Nick Cage in Dead by Daylight?
I did,
thing?
yeah. Man, that game just continues to kill it with the characters that they get. I gotta hand it to them.
They know exactly what they're doing.
Man, they know exactly what they're doing. Good for them. Good for them.
Let's leave it on a positive note. What's your favorite Nick Cage movie?
Oh, Ghost Rider, of course. Um,
An excellent choice.
no. No, realistically, man, there's so fucking many to choose from.
I have a real soft spot in my heart for Face Off.
Ah, yeah, you know,
It's not about quality. It's really more about my personal preference, my childhood favorite, my fucking my top guy, and I think Face Off is way up there, man.
ooh,
That and
yeah,
like
it.
The Rock. Those
Oh,
are
The
two Nicolas
Rock.
Cage performances that like really informed my youth a lot. So I was like, yeah, those are a fucking big part of it.
I would have forgot about The Rock. That's right up there, but I've always had a soft spot for Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah. So those are the two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He
Gone in
is in
60 is great.
fine form in that film.
yeah.
All right. Well, oh, you got something?
No.
No, honestly, those are the two. Face Off and Gone in 60 Seconds. Those are probably the ones that I was going to choose.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
viewers, listeners, get yourself 2 screens, watch Face Off and Gone in 60 Seconds at the same time. You're going to have yourself time. But for all of us here at Press X the podcast, this has been Paul, Rhett, and James talking about the Xbox stuff, talking about Zelda, talking about Final Fantasy. We'll be back in a couple weeks, talk about more games, and we'll see you
Yeah.
right back
Yeah.
here for that. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.